What is up, dudes and lady dudes? Welcome back for Just Nuts. Today we are looking at Dinosaurs. It's a new deck profile. This one is kind of a weird one. It's not going to be what you're expecting. You guys know what you've come to expect from this channel. We don't play super combo decks. My style is not necessarily hard going second stuff, but I do like to take archetypes that do have something like that most people expect to be a crazy combo deck, or most people expect it to be a hard going second deck, and you kind of shift it because I do think it has some cool tools for going first. So today I'm showing you my dinosaur control, I guess. I almost wouldn't even call it control because you don't do a ton of controlling. You kind of just stop your opponent and then kill him. So I guess you could call it more so stun. You're trying to just like stop your opponent for one turn and then just bop them real quick on the next following turn. So without further ado, I don't want to waste too much time. Let's get into this profile. Alright, so starting off, you have the basic like dinosaur monsters. Nothing too crazy here. Obviously 3 Solini Oviraptor. If this is not the strongest normal summon in the game, it's one of them, right? And it definitely goes on the top 10 list of strongest normal summons in Yu-Gi-Oh! Next up, we play 3 Miscellaneousaurus. Not too crazy, or nothing too crazy here. This card, again, protects your plays, protects Oviraptor from hand traps on summon or any other disruptions, as well as becomes a really good extender, and the new Archosaur card makes that just even better. 1 copy of Giant Rex here. This is another really good card. You just want to set this up in grave because when you banish it with the myriad of cards that you like allow you to do that, he does come back as a level 4 extender, and then you can start making rank 4s, and that's where this deck specifically makes its money, is turn 1 make a rank 4, because Dolka, some decks just can't even play through 1 Dolka, and so that's why this card is so nice. And then for the babies, I'm kind of playing a slightly smaller baby lineup than most players do. I'm on 2 Baby Pterosaurus, 1 Petit Pteranodon. That shouldn't be too crazy to see. I mean, I like having the petites that you can pull out, let's see, Pancratops out of the deck, which is really nice added utility. And then I still wanted enough to be able to grind for 2-3 turns if I'm using like the field spell effect and stuff, pulling them out of the deck. So I felt like this was a pretty good ratio, and we're also not going to brick on too many of them at this number as much. And the last card here, as far as the small dinosaurs go, this is supposed to be Animadorned Archosaur. Me and Chris have one, but I haven't seen him in a minute, so I haven't gotten it from him, but I do have it, and I've been testing with it. But yeah, just 1 copy. You're really not trying to go super hard on the combo aspect of this deck. You're maybe trying to make a rank 4 if you can, I guess, like a really good hand. You can also put Conductor on the field turn 1, but he's more of a follow-up play to help you just like finish off your opponent. But these are the main like small dinosaurs in the deck. Pretty standard though for dinosaurs. As far as dinosaur stuff goes, maybe even a little condensed, because I know some people like to play more babies than just the 3, but still, and more Archosaur as well. Alright, then for the big ones, we're just on 1 copy of Dino Wrestler Pancratops and 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This is nothing too crazy either. 3 Conductors, just probably overkill. You're just going to brick on it at that point. You're going to draw hands where you can't even put 2 dinosaurs in grave, but you see multiple of him. So 2 seems good to me because your opponent has 1, you can still get to a second one, and that's fine. And then Pank is just awesome, right? So that's one of the cool things about decks like this, and it's part of like the same, I guess, strategy behind when I built like Cyber Dragon Control, was that Cyber Dragons already had such a really strong inherent like aspect to their like strategy that was good going second. Same thing with Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are already just such a strong deck going second that like if you meet in the middle and you kind of make it go first, it means if you lose the die roll, you honestly still feel confident because the deck already has like some nice going second mechanics, but also going first, you don't just lose when your opponent makes you go first either. You have better plays. Your deck is designed to play that way, which works. And also there's right now the format is very scary going second. Infernoble's hand looping you, Water's hand looping you, Adamantipator's going full combo with 5-6 cards still in hand. Like all that stuff is just terrifying. To kind of support that, the going second aspect of this deck, I do play some hand traps. The only ones I'm playing at the moment are 3 Ash and 3 Nibiru, and I'm also playing Imperm, but we'll get to that. But as far as the monster ones, just these. And I know, here's the thing, right? Ash is good against everything, so I'm not even going to talk about that. But Nibiru specifically, I know some people might complain about this because I think in the format currently, Nibiru's not the best card overall, the best hand trap. And I get that, 100%. Infernobles can play against it. They can either rip it out of your hand or just set up a negate prior to the 5th summon. Same thing with Adamantipator. Same thing with Water. So it's like really not the greatest thing overall, but we do have a card that kind of relies on us putting a token on the field, getting a token on the field so that that card can be really good, and we'll get there later. But yeah, and you can side it out if it's not great in the matchup, but I am playing it at 3 just because it does come up with a very important card in the strategy a little later on. So I am playing it because it's still just combo hate overall. Your opponent still has to play around it. They still have to hand rip it and leave the rest of your hand alone. So I don't know. It's one of those things that you just got to play in this specific strategy. You'll see why a little later on. Moving on to the spells, we're on 3 copies of Lost World, including Terraforming, so actually 4 copies. This is just the 3rd copy. I only had 2 for some reason. I thought I had 3, but I don't because I'm a pleb. So yeah, play the 3rd. I've been testing with the 3rd, and it's really good. You just really want to see it. Like I said, you want to put a token on your opponent's side of the field. This is 4 more copies of cards that do so. It also turns off your opponent's ability to target anything but tokens on the field, so that's really, really nice. And then it just becomes an insane extender when you're able to just pop babies from deck for free and just get free extension out of them. So really, really nice. I'm not cutting down on those anytime soon, specifically in this version. After that, we've got basic, consistency stuff. 3 Fossil Dig. This will never change as long as this card's at 3. I believe 100% at one point this card will be at 1 on the ban list. It's just one of those things, like the reason Rhoda's at 1 on the ban list, 1, it's not hard once per turn, and 2, Warriors eventually got so much support that Konami was just like, we got to hit this, or we won't be able to make Warrior decks in the future. And I think that'll eventually happen with Dinosaurs. They'll say, we already have really strong dinosaur cards, but if we ever want to make future dinosaur-like archetypes, we're going to have to cut this card down because it's just too nasty. But for now, we have it at 3, so play it. And it's awesome. The only other dinosaur spell I play is a Devo Pill, just the 1 copy, just so I have a target to search off of Archosaur if we go that route. So just a 1 of. Honestly, I've thought about dropping Archosaur and the Devo Pill just because they are kind of bricky, because this deck doesn't super hyper focus on combo, like the combo portion of dinosaurs, so we're not putting a ton of other like non-dinosaur monsters in grave super easily, so it just makes it a little awkward. But I'm still playing it just because it can be a play that like saves your cheeks. So I feel like it's just better to play than to not play at the moment. And then the last spell we play is 3 Extravagance. This is not a deck that super needs its extra deck. The only thing you really use consistently is like 2 of your links and then just like rank 4s, but like you can play multiples of those. So it's really, this deck really does not need every card in its extra deck at all. So it's just a draw. It's just a draw 2, gets us 2 cards deep into our deck, and just hopefully it finds us something that we're looking for, or just extra disruption, whatever that is. So moving on to the traps, the final portion of the deck, because this is Cyber Dragon Control, so we gotta play traps. So for those, we've got 3 copies of Impermanence. Pair that with your other 6 hand traps. You've got 9 in the main, 9 hand traps plus you're playing Dinosaurs going second, so you're already able to do shenanigans that way. All right, 3 copies of Survival's End. This is probably the interesting card that you might see here, and then Strike and Judgment. I just think they're insane, and if I'm not playing Trap Trick, which you could have arguably tried to make a Trap Trick package here, play Trap Trick, another Trap, and then just like, you can search Survival's End, search Impermanence, search whatever other thing, but for now I'm just going with the Solemns. This could easily change, though, if you thought there was a Trap strong enough to really want to play, but for now I'm with this. Don't need to explain these. These are just great going first cards. Strike's even still good going second. But Survival's End is the other thing. This card is so spicy. If you don't know what it does, it says you can destroy all normal monsters on the field, which is tokens, pretty much. And then you can special summon level 4 lower dinosaurs from the deck up to the number of normal monsters you destroyed. So in most situations, you pop 1 token, you get to summon an Oviraptor. Now, the conditions are the monster will be destroyed during the end phase, and that's it. It also has another effect where it can quick effect banish itself from grave to target a dino you control and a monster your opponent controls. Actually, I think it's any card. Yep, it's any card, so it can pop spells and traps as well, and then pop them both. The reason that's really good is because if you can just extend into a baby on field, you just pop the baby in an opponent's monster, the baby extends you back into something. So very, very strong, especially if you use its effect to summon a baby in the first place. Then you banish this card as extra disruption to give you just a Dryden effect, pop the baby, and then baby still gets you Oviraptor. Oviraptor isn't destroyed on the end phase, and you get the search or dump off Oviraptor. So you just get so much value off this card when it's actually able to resolve popping like a normal monster, and that's why we play Nibiru, because when this card resolves, you just are winning the duel. You get so much advantage off of it, as well as disruption, and it's just insane. So I think this is a card, just because this card's so strong, I would consider playing it at more in terms of like Trap Trick. Find a way to make like a Trap Trick package work in the deck. But for now, this is what we're playing. Also, maybe like Paleozoics could work because when they come back, they are normal monsters, so that kind of opens some things up. I looked at that a while ago, like a long time ago, but maybe that's something if you guys are interested in, I could try and build as well, like a Paleozoic Dino deck. That'd be cool. But yeah, for now, this is what we're going with. 43, I think, in the main. You really, with all the stuff we're trying to fit, enough traps, the dinosaur package, hand traps so you don't auto lose going second, and like the spells that you kind of need to play. I end up with 43. It's kind of hard to trim further than that. I really had trouble getting it any lower, but still, the deck's consistent. It works, right? We have Fossil Dig, we have, Extravagance, all that stuff. We're pretty consistent. All right, then we move to the extra deck. We're going to see a huge rank 4 package starting us off. We have 3 copies of Evilzard Dolka, 2 copies of Evilzard Lagia, 1 copy of Tornado Dragon, 1 copy of Dweller, 1 copy of Exciton Knight, 1 copy of 103 Ragna Zero, low-key slept on card, especially in this version of the deck, and I'll get to that in a sec, and then 1 copy of Dugars, the Timeless. Really cool lineup. You just have these ones. These are the most important ones because when you set up these disruptions, they're insanely strong. I know if I'm only going to make 1 rank 4 in a turn, I'm going Dolka because it's 2 disruptions and monster like effects are more prevalent, but it does just lose to like spell and trap removal of a monster, so that's awkward. And then if I already have like a monster negation or disruption, I just go Lagia, so it covers all the other bases, evenly matched, Lightning Storm, all that stuff kind of covers the rest of the bases. Tornado Dragon, just nice spell and trap removal. I would consider playing this at 2. Dweller, just nice to have again. In the right matchup, it's better than Dolka, it's better than Lagia. 1 Exciton Knight, if it can come up, and it does come up, it'll like save your ass. It'll really just win you a duel, so that's why I'm playing it just 1. Hopefully it's there through Extravagance if I need it. Ragna Zero, really cool card because one thing that Ragna Zero never sees play for is because it relies on your opponent having a monster that stats are different than its normal stats. But in this deck, we play a card called Lost World, which we play as a 4 of, and that card automatically changes the stats of every monster your opponent controls, essentially, as long as it's not a dinosaur, which does turn this card on. So it's a 2400 beater. It's a quick effect Dryden that you can use on your turn to remove, and then on your opponent's turn as disruption. And you draw a card. It's disruption plus you draw. It gives you so much advantage. So this card's actually really, really crazy. And in specific matchups, this card's like specifically nasty. So I definitely like this card a lot. And then Dugars, when he comes up, he's kind of just like, oh, let me just draw 2. Because if I draw something that I need, a way to get to Conductor or something, it can just end the duel. So even though you won't get a draw phase the next turn, it can draw you into something that saves your cheeks. So that covers the rank 4 package. Pretty, makes sense, all of them, when you really get down to it. And then we get to the links. We're on 1 link Karibo. This is just for Archosaur because sometimes you go Archosaur to search a Fossil Dig, but you need to put a non-dinosaur in your grave. So this card, you link Archosaur into this, you link this into something else, this plus like maybe an Ovi into like something else, maybe a Penistag, and then you can go from there, summon your Conductor, go to town. Speaking of the rest of the links though, Cerberus, Phoenix, and 2 Penistag. I just don't have a second one for some reason. I thought I bought multiple of this structure deck, but that's not important. But yeah, these are just coverage. Again, like if you banish your Tornado Dragon, this can still save you to out like a specific back row that's a problem. And then Cerberus, same thing. It's the same thing as Penistag because Penistag's just generic. If you're going to link this Karibo off to try and get your double Evo pill live, but sometimes mid-range game, like mid-game or even late game as you're trying to end the game, you may just want to go Phoenix or Cerberus, get 1 extra pop, 1 extra removal before you commit to the Conductor, and it could be nice. So that, and then Penistag, I think you need to play multiple of him just because he is the difference between you giving your opponent an extra turn or not, because he's just making Conductor deal the piercing. So instead of going 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, you're just like 2,500, 2,500, 3,500 because they have a monster that's 0 defense or something, and then you just deal the duel immediately right there. So it's pretty nasty, but that's pretty much it for the extra deck. Trying to keep it simple. Yes, Extravagance can throw off certain plays, but I just felt like those plays were like inconsequential so much of the time. Like, yes, niche plays like, oh, if Ragna Zero could be really good in a situation, oh, you banished it. Like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to have to settle for, I don't know, a Dolka that's just 2 negates, like 2 monster negates and destroy. Like, that's fine. I think we're going to be fine in those instances. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a new, different take on dinosaurs that you probably don't see very often. You're probably just used to the hard going second, kill your opponent. But this is a no-joke engine. And if Konami made like one or two other cards that are just like dinosaur cards, like dinosaur traps, that were really strong but like good for dinosaurs, I could easily see this being like a going first deck. Like seriously, this deck is no joke. And I hope people don't take it as one. So guys, let me know your thoughts down below, as always, on the build. If there's any ideas you have for it, any suggestions on what I could do to change this build, if you've messed around with a build similar to this, or just have any ideas, let me know. I'm always open to suggestions and changing builds around, just to see if I can tweak it, make it a little better at any given instance. But that's going to do it for me here. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel if you have not yet and you want to see more deck profiles like these in the future. Definitely subscribe for that. And we got more deck profiles coming. So, thanks. Peace.